Okay, hello everyone. This is the 2.5 video that you can watch on Monday. I'm wondering if Monday's going to be a 2-hour delay. So who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. But anyway, this week is short, so we're going to continue chapter 23 and treat this and next week kind of combined as though they are the second week of chapter 23. And we're going to have a 1-day homework turnaround for our lectiones, which will be on the white table if I didn't already pass them out. You guys are going to do like 1 through, let's say 4 from those, unless I might tell you something different on Monday. But you'll do a smaller amount of those than normal, and we'll check them on Tuesday. And then we'll play some kind of Jeopardy and or a game in all classes on Wednesday. All right, so remember this chapter is all about participles, these new verbal adjectives we're learning about. Present active is when they get this ns or nt type ending that is declined in the third declension and is translated as like doing, whereas perfect active is translated as like having been verbed, sometimes just verbed, almost like it's an adjective, like just like almost a normal adjective. And then future active about to verb with that you are ending in the first, second declension. And then future passive with the nd and a first and second declension ending. Okay. So let's just do this translation, and we'll do a little bit of the Laocoon reading that is on the bottom of your chapter 23 textbook handout from last week. Hopefully you didn't like throw that away. But aliquid is, it's a new vocab word, right? So aliquis is probably gonna be like someone, whereas aliquid is something. And then carno, carnera is this newer verb that means to discern. Try to remember to add like a prefix to it so that you get discern, because it doesn't look like anything otherwise until you think of the word discern, which is what it means. And it's first singular, so obviously it's like I discern. And then so aliquid must be the direct object. Aliquid could have been a nominative neuter subject, but our verb is first singular, right? So I discern something. And then numquam is never, ante is before. So what is auditum here? Hopefully you recognize that it's coming from audio, audire, which is our good old fourth conjugation verb that means to hear. It's not audeo, it's not to dare. And so what kind of participle would this be? Would it be present active, perfect passive, or one of our weird future ones? I don't see an ns or an nt in it. It's not like audiens, audientis. I don't see any of the future endings, audiator, about to hear, or what would it even be? Audendus. I can't picture the future passive form of this, but it's not one of the future ones. So it's just perfect passive. So it means like having been heard or just heard, as in I discerned something never before heard in this republic. So hopefully this just demonstrates that I think the perfect passive participles are the easiest ones to translate by far. Present passive is pretty easy too. Present active rather is pretty easy too. But the thing with present active is that sometimes it's having like a direct object of its own, which makes things a little complicated sometimes. But perfect passive, the most complicated thing that'll happen with that is that it'll have a ablative of means or agent going with it. So we don't know who this something is heard by. I mean, it's heard by I guess, the first person singular pronoun. But sometimes in other cases, the perfect passive will have a PowerPoint's acting weird. Will have an ablative of means or manner on its own, just like in this example here. So this is the Laocoon story. We've talked about Laocoon before, and he's back. This is the guy who tries to warn the other Trojans not to fall for the Trojan horse trap. He is very skeptical about the horse, and the other Trojans just kind of shrug it off and think he's like crazy, I guess. So he has a story here. So oppressi bello longo et a deis aversi duces Graecorum iam post decem annos magnum equam ligneum arta Minervae faciunt. So let's see here. Fixing my PowerPoint. So oppressi is from this new verb we have, oppresso, oppressora, which means more like suppress. It's very tempting to translate as oppress, but according to our dictionary entry, it should be more like suppress, though oppress is probably, pretty synonymous with suppress. So oppressi, what is that going to be? If we're looking at our, I don't know why this is bolded. If we're looking at our kind of two participle charts, which of the four participles would that be? Well, it's going to be just perfect passive. We don't know who it's like modifying. We don't know who has been suppressed, but that's how we're going to translate it. Having been suppressed, then bello longo. This is what I was talking about. We have an ablative of means having been suppressed by the long war, and then a wersi here. The colors are weird and muted for this passage for some reason, but just pretend they're our normal colors. Having been suppressed by a long war, and deis, which is from deus, like something about by the gods. Aversi. What is aversi again? Averto. So verto is to turn, whereas averto is to turn back. If you look at the bottom, the last word. So like having been suppressed by a long war and having been turned back by the gods, or I want to translate that as turn away. Oh, we can. Oh, I see. Reverto is to turn back. That's okay. That's what I thought. Averto is turn away. Having been turned away by the gods, then duces Graecorum, that must be our subject. That is the thing that is being suppressed and turned away. Turned away by the gods as in like neglected. Yeah. It's weird. Aversi could be modifying gods if it had like an S. Be like, and well, no, yeah, we're describing the leaders of the Greeks, right? Leaders of the Greeks. Now, after 10 years, skip all of that. We don't know what to do with it yet until we get our verb faciunt. They made a magnum equum ligneum, a great wooden horse. Ligneus is wooden. Arte Minerva would be our ablative. It means with the art of Minerva. So we have some, with our perfect passive participles at the beginning, we have some ablative. I want to move this. Can I move this? Thank you. We have some ablatives of means. PowerPoint is going haywire today. I'll just put it over both of those. The gods, I guess, would technically be an ablative of agent. So, because they're people, according to the Greeks. So that would be agent. Whereas, after 10 years, that's just an accusative object of post. And then the direct object is the great wooden horse. And then arta is an ablative of means as well, with the skill of Minerva, of Athena. All right, uterum multis militibus complent equum in litora relinquent et ultra insulam proximam navigat. So they have some glossed words for us here. We do not know compleo, compleri, but we also don't really have any participles in this. Uterum is belly, and then compleo is like to hold. So this is something like the belly, as in the belly of the horse, holds many soldiers. And then I need to get this to go away. And then they, as in the Greeks, relinquish or leave the horse on the shore. In Litora, there is an ablative of place where. On the shore. We don't want to say in the shore. Okay, and ultra insulam proximam navigant. They sail beyond. Ultra must be our new preposition. Beyond the nearest shore. Proximam is this adjective that means nearest. A lot of this is glossed in the textbook, but we'll just kind of use it as an example today and kind of go through it pretty quickly. Troiani nollas copias aut naves vident. So what would this be? This is pretty straightforward. What do you think our subject is? It's probably Trojans. And then nollas copias, maybe a direct object. So Trojans, sea, no troops or ships. And then omnis Troiae gaudet. Gaudeo is our new verb that means to rejoice. So omnis Troia is like all of Troy rejoices. All of Troy rejoices. We often have to use an of. I guess we could say all Troy, but that sounds weird. So all of Troy is better. All of Troy rejoices. And then pondo pondera means to unfold. So portai ponduntur. What is the voice and tense of panduntur? Would be good old present passive. So it's the gates are opened. Gates are open. And let's see. I have more of this. Let's see. I thought I did. All right. Where is it? Let's find the rest of Laocoon. If you want to pause this and work through more of it on your own, flip open to chapter 23 in the textbook to find it. That would be good. But where? Oh, here we go. Here we go. So let's do like 4 more slides worth of translating this. So de equo autem Troiani sunt incerti. That's pretty straightforward. Equo is ablative. Autem is just like however. We keep seeing this nominative plural for Trojans. So it's just the Trojans are uncertain about the horse, however. Alii eum. So I see something that looks like a subject right next to a direct object. And then cupiant at the end of that second sentence means to desire. And it often takes an infinitive. So what is duci here? They desire what? That's from duco ducera. It's an infinitive, but it's not an active infinitive. That'd be like ducera. So what is this here? Duci with the long I. That is our weird third conjugation passive infinitive. That is something they tell us about around chapter 2021. Don't know if I put enough of a spotlight on it. But yeah, like third conjugation verbs, their passive infinitive, it looks very short. So whereas first, second, and fourth have like they look like normal present active endings for first, second, and fourth, without an e at the end and like an I instead of the e. Like instead of amara with an e, it'd be like amari. These third conjugation verbs, their passive infinitive is formed with just immediately having a long I after the stem. So there is no like er. It's not duceri. It's just duki. So others, alii, right? Others desire to be led, and not. So we do have a direct object in there, taking direct object and the infinitive at the same time. The desire it, we're not going to translate am as it or him like we usually do because it's referring to the horse, right? So it's the desire it to be led into the city or wish it to be led into the city. So that's kind of a deceptively complicated looking, or like it looks like it'd be more straightforward, but it's got a couple things going on. Ali eam graikos insidios appellant. Appello appellare is a verb we have not seen very much. It means to name or to call. So let's see. What would this be? Again, others is going to be our subject. So others, something about, looks like we're talking about the it. Again, the Trojan horse it, not him for eam. Others call it. So appello can take like a dual direct object. Like I call the direct object another direct object. So they call it Greek treachery. And the other is basically Laocoon, right? We're led to believe like it's mostly just Laocoon who's being skeptical here. Primus ibi anti omnes de arca curanes Laocoon sacerdos Troianus haec verba dicit. So it looks like we finally have another participle. So primus is just going to function kind of adverbially here. Like first, ibi is there, first there, before omnes, just by itself, maybe just all or everyone. De arca, that's from arx arcus, it means citadel. It's a new vocab word. So like about the citadel, as in like around the citadel. This might be one of the rare times where we translate de, not as from or about, but more like around. Currens, what is currens? We've already seen this before. What kind of participle would that be? Let's grab our little handy guide. But hopefully even without it, y'all can recognize that that is a present active participle. So, and it's describing who? The subject, right? The guy, the story is about Laocoon. So it's about like around the citadel, running, right? From Kura running, Laocoon. Sacerdos Troianus, what does that mean? That would be priest, right? Or chicken person is reminding us that means priest. So Laocoon, a Trojan priest, hike whereba dicit. He says these words. So yeah, that was a present active participle. Says these words. I made his name light blue for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, down from. Down from actually might be the best way to take day. Yeah, the textbook actually gives us down from, and I think there was only one time in the first like 10 chapters where that was actually appropriate. But here it's very appropriate. Down from or about. Down from is perfect. Says these words. O miseri cives non estis sani, quid cogitatis, nona intelligitis, graecos et scitis insidias eorum. Let's just use this as an opportunity to review some vocabulary, and then we'll probably be done for the day. But o miseri cives is like, oh, wretched citizens, non estis sani, are you not sane? What do you all think? Quid cogitatis. None intelligent. None is this weird thing. It's kind of like non plus the ne. That means it's a question. It's a question like expecting a negative answer. So it's like, are you not intelligitus? Almost looks like it's not a verb, but it is. It's from intelligo and telegera. So that means to understand. It's a verb we've had trouble with before in the past. To understand. So none intelligitus would be like, do you not understand? Right? We're just kind of treating it like, it's almost like intelligitus ne plus non, but instead the ne is being attached to non. So do you not understand what? Something about Greeks. Oh yeah, the Greeks, and skire is our new vocabulary word that means to know. And know their treachery, their plots, their ambush. All of those words are perfectly applicable to what is about to happen. All right, if we have a participle in this one, we might do this last one. Yeah, we got some participles in this. So let's do this and then we'll be done. So either invenio, that's another word I think we have trouble with. Venire is to come, right? Invenio is to come upon, aka find. I think we always end up translating as find. It's a little better. Don't need to know about sacerdos anymore. So either you come upon in that horse many harsh soldiers, or equus es machina. They gloss machina for us is basically a machine. I mean, that's what it looks like, right? Or the horse is a machine of war. Facta contra nos. What is that? This might not seem like a participle, but facta actually is there. It's from facia facere. So again, if it doesn't have the ns or nt of present active, the ur of future active, or the nd of future passive, it's probably just perfect passive. So it would just be like having been verbed, but in this case, we do not need the having been. So just like made against us. Then ventura is future active. So like about to come into the city. Viscera s is future active. So like, let's see, what is Viscera s? About to come to the city. Here to spy. I think that's glossed for us. Like about to, and it's from video videre, like about to see, but he's saying like about to spy. Like that's what the soldiers are going to do. And then comma, Timeo, Dineos, et Dona Ferentes. This last thing, Pharaoh, Ferrera. Is that a new vocab word? It means to bear. I didn't know if you guys had that. Again, that might be glossed for us. If you don't have it, you'll get it soon, or we've had it and we haven't seen it very much. All right, I can't find the vocab list. So that's going to be bearing, as in like carrying. So he says, I fear Timeo. I fear, Danaans is another word for Greeks. I fear Greeks, and I fear Greeks that are bearing gifts. So the word order is kind of weird. This is slightly glossed from Virgil. This is like actually from the Aeneid. And so we're seeing some poetic verse here. But it's like, I fear the Greeks, and I fear them when they're carrying gifts. So that is our present active participle there with the nt. Pharaoh, Pharaoh. I will write that down here. If I don't, hopefully I remind you before you watch this video, like it would be good to just focus on vocabulary right now, because these participles are not too tricky, honestly. And so it is getting its own direct object here in the form of dono. Here, and then this is color coded. Yeah, there you go. It's color coded there. All right. About to spy. Oh, okay. This is the next sentence. Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. I made a typo on this reading. I forgot that I did that. So that, I think that's what it says on y'all's writing or handout. But it should actually be about to spy. This makes much more sense. About to spy on our houses and people. Okay. Okay. Yep, this is some Latin 3 stuff for the ninth graders that I made like a month ago, and that was a typo that I should have corrected on y'all's handout. But yeah, there you go. That's the textbook version right there. It just kind of differs a little bit. All right, we'll finish that up on Tuesday and do some of the lectiones that aren't assigned for homework. And yeah, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to ask me if or let me know if you want to talk about this during essay or something. Do we have essay on 2 hour delays? I'm really banking on it being a 2 hour delay, but you know what? It probably won't be. But anyway, yep. All right, y'all can work on your homework for the rest of class.